local weather with the KX News Storm Team.
Welcome back to KX News at 10, and hey, have a month, North Dakota. This is the last 10 days of rainfall across much of our area, and we've, in a month where we normally only see between 1 and 2 inches, we've had some areas seen upwards of 3 to 4 inches. Bismarck, just in the last 10 days, September 10th to 20th, has seen just over 4 inches of rainfall, which right now has us as the 8th wettest September of all time there at Bismarck. And across much of the area, we've seen anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain from repeated rounds of thunderstorms the last few days. So that's why it's pretty nice thing that we didn't really see much in the way of rain today. It was really the first day we've had in a little while. And notice as we look across the entire country's drought monitor, pretty much every state has at least a little patch of dryness or maybe even some drought in some areas. But as you zoom in on the northern plains, North Dakota is the only state in the lower 48 that has 0% dryness. That came out with the latest drought monitor update just earlier this week. So pretty good news, and we don't really need any more in the way of rain. And fortunately, we look at the satellite, and just in time, things have just about dried out. All the showers have since pushed off to the east over into Minnesota, and that's leaving us with clear skies, light winds across the area tonight. Of course, that combination of clear skies, light wind, and recent moisture will provide a bit of a fog threat as we get into later tonight. We did have some patches of dense fog as well this morning, so if you're going to be doing any driving early tomorrow morning, just know that there will be that possibility of a few patches of dense fog. Be sure to slow down and use the fog headlights if you need to. So this is what the pattern is looking like, and what will be keeping us dry is this ridge that is starting to build up over the northern Rockies here. Notice these upper level flow lines that sort of hump up to the north there, poking into southern Canada. This is going to help deflect any additional energy such as we're seeing out here in the Pacific Northwest right now. This will keep us nice and warm and sunny, and it'll drift its way right over the top of us as we get to the next couple days. So temperatures are going to be on a bit of an upward trend, and clouds are going to basically disappear, and we'll have some sunny and relatively warm days ahead, especially as we begin fall there, with Monday being the autumn equinox. Temperatures right now are sitting in the mid-50s to lower 60s at a few places. Wolf Point actually still sitting there at 68 degrees, but across the majority of the region, light and variable winds, maybe feeling a little bit damp out there, again, with that recent moisture. Tonight we'll be cooling off into the lower 50s to even some upper 40s, especially in low-lying spots and areas over in our eastern tier counties. And as we cool off to these temperatures, the dew points are also about 48 to 50 degrees, which means that we will again have that fog potential. So as we get into your tomorrow, we will be starting out again with those patches of fog, temperature right around 50 degrees by 8 a.m., but then warming up under very clear skies into the 70s by lunchtime, and probably getting up to right around the 80-degree mark by the time we get to 4 p.m. roughly, with only a few high clouds possible, cooling off there into the upper 60s by the time we get to the sunset hour. High temperatures across much of the rest of the area, besides being in the 80s along US 83, will be in the mid-80s out towards the Montana border, and might even get to that 90-degree mark there at Wolf Point. And as we look ahead to the rest of the next 7 days, Precision Cast shows virtually nothing. We might have a glancing system that'll glance the southwest part of the state there on Monday, but for much of North Dakota, it is looking like it'll be a clear and warm 7 days. The work week is looking not much like fall, which I think could be a good thing considering how wet things have been the last few days, the last 10 days in fact. Williston's next 5 days reflects this. First day of fall there on Monday, but temperatures are going to be about 10 degrees above where they would be normally for this time of year, generally mid to upper 70s, with lows there right around the 50-degree mark. No frost concerns. Dickinson, similar deal, 20% chance of showers there on Monday, then stabling out right around the mid to upper 70s as we get into the middle part of this coming week. And Minot, quite similar with those mid 70s across the board for the entire next 7 days, and generally fair skies. Bismarck, just about the same, with the first day of fall looking like 79 degrees and fair skies, and very similar for basically the rest of the work week. Tyler?
Man, Michael, I mean, this is almost like too good to be true. I might regret asking, so when's the cold weather coming?
I don't know. When fall starts, I was thinking that it was going to be cold, but I'm not going to. I don't want to jinx anything.
I know. I shouldn't even say it out loud. Especially, I was just talking about. I'll probably get some golf in. Weather's still good enough for it.
That sounds like a good plan.
Cool. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Coming up next in